Oh, it says preparing, so it'll,
Now, what can you see of my screen? Just the checklist, or can you see the agenda too?
well, you can see the checklist on the left. We can't see the agenda and then the participants on the right. I think
Well,
you
you
can
can
only
see-
share one screen.
Okay.
Oh, it says preparing, so it'll,
Now, what can you see of my screen? Just the checklist, or can you see the agenda too?
well, you can see the checklist on the left. We can't see the agenda and then the participants on the right. Okay, so the YouTube,
Well,
you can only share one screen.
YouTube is lagging, yeah.
Okay.
You're probably gonna have to turn down the volume so we don't,
I had to turn it off because it actually opens on my first computer.
well.
Which is
Wendy's
weird.
connecting. There she goes. Hey, Wendy. She's on mute. So in addition to my screen, can you see my video, my face?
Yeah.
Blake,
Yes.
Hello.
hello. So we're almost complete.
For some reason I can't get the stream going on my other computer.
There's Wendy. Oh, she knows how to do virtual background. Nice job. That
I
was-
thought that was a homework assignment.
Oh, yeah, I flanked that one. All right, it's time. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. It is hereby declared official. Bow Drinking Water meeting is in session. First item of business is to read a checklist to ensure meetings are compliant with the right to know law during this state of emergency. As chair of the Bow Drinking Water Protection Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor and in accordance with the emergency order number 12, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the order, I am confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by phone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are using Zoom for this meeting. All members of the board, council, or commission have the ability to communicate simultaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to listen and, if necessary, participate through dialing in the numbers as advertised in the agenda. Item B is providing, hi Madhu, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or by phone. Instructions are also provided on the town website at bownh.gov. C, we are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem, you may email asnegach@bownewhampshire.gov. And that's ASNEGACH@bownh.gov. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event that the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned or rescheduled. All votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call. We will start by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you. during this meeting. This is required by the right to know law. Okay, I will stop sharing that. And we will proceed with the roll call. How do we do that, Alvina?
Just say your name.
So Jordan?
Hi, I'm Jordan, and there is no one in the room with me.
Wendy?
This is Wendy Waskin. I'm in the room by myself.
Madhu?
Hi, I'm in the family room and I do have my dog and once in a while my daughter and husband. So I don't know. Maybe next time I can lock myself. Separate room.
That's fine. Blake?
Present, and I can confirm I am alone in the room I am in.
And I'm Alvina Nuggets, recording secretary, and I am also alone in my room.
And I am Cindy Clevens. I am the committee chair and I have my dog with me and occasionally the cat. All right. Alvina, would you like me to share the agenda or?
You can share the agenda if you want to start with that, or the first item on the agenda, and just read it into the record. This way you've announced it. I want to say that I think we have some trouble with the YouTube Live because I'm not seeing it on my other computer. On this computer, it's running, but on the other one, I can't see it. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Okay, so first items on the agenda, and I can read the agenda or let me know, anybody, if you want me to share it. Is approval of March meeting minutes. Did everyone have a chance to read them? Would you like to make a motion to approve? Any edits?
Motion to approve as is?
Okay,
That's Blake Hooper made the motion.
Yes.
any seconds?
Madhu, I do second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Hi.
That's we have to
Aye.
do it by name. So you have to state your name and your vote.
Okay, so we'll go in the same order because that's the way you are on my screen. Jordan, Wendy, Madhu, Blake. So please vote.
Jordan votes yes.
Wendy,
Wendy, yes.
Madhu, yes.
Blake, aye.
and Cindy, I.
Okay.
All right, next item, our tasks. So the first one is under my task was to finish the school board letter about lead testing and remediation grant. And I can share my screen, but that was sent out this morning because I only did it last night. Apologize for doing that so late. But we don't have to take a vote today about it. Maybe just people can read it and, you know, let me know any changes. So the school board letter, I don't know, if we go in detail, it's going to be very long. So it's just, I'll read a little bit of it. It's directed to Superintendent Cascadin, but to the school board members, letting them know what the results were and that we strongly encourage the school board to apply for the lead remediation grant in order to reduce the levels in 14 locations where levels were above 5, even though they were below the 15 ppb. So maybe this week, if the members can, everybody can take a look at that. It's in your email from this morning. Take a look at that letter and the other documents and let me know, and Alvina, I guess, of any comments so that we can finalize that and just send it off. And get rid of that letter to communicate, because I think, especially since, well, well, the school is pretty busy probably still, but maybe, I think the timing is probably okay for them to receive some suggestions on the lead sampling, I hope. So that's one item. Along that same task, there's the additional documents that were sent this morning were the report for the web page. So that's divided into a one-page report, which Malu had started, and we, have gone through a couple drafts now. Put a graphic on it, and it's just a one-page a Word document that you can take a look at to see what's proposed there. Same thing, let me know any edits. And then there's 3 tables to go with that. One for both schools, one for Dunbarton Elementary, and one for the Bow daycares. And what I did for this version is I simplified things, because you might remember that there were additional samples, for example, for Bow Technologies, where there's one daycare in only one of the units, and we had samples for some of the other units. So I took out those rows and only left the ones that were for the daycare. So that made the table smaller for the daycares, because it's only really showing what was relevant for the daycares. So those are the 2
So-
items on lead.
So Cindy, what is the to-do assignment on this one?
So
This
the
was
assignment.
something that was sent out this morning, or?
Yeah, it was sent out this morning. So the assignment to everybody is, could you please look these over and let me know maybe by 1 week, would that be enough? Next Monday,
Sure.
let me know any edits,
Sure.
Sure.
and I'll incorporate those, and then maybe send out a final one. Give people a couple more days to just make sure that everybody's okay with it, and then we'll send it over to the school board and post to the website. Because one will go to the website, one will go to the school board. All right. Next on the agenda was Blake's drafting the Test Your Will 2020.
Yes. First off, Cindy, thank you for the edits to the draft that I sent you and for distributing that. Obviously, I liked all the changes. It looks it looks good, and certainly it adds more information that I'm not sure I was aware of at the time. So that's useful. I just I'm basically keeping, I basically like how it is, and unless anybody else has any suggestions with it, I just, cleaned up a couple of minor things that just like error. I think there was like a slight error, like there was an equal sign in the wrong place or whatever. But other than that, that part looks good.
Blake, I'm gonna share my screen because nobody else except you saw those edits.
Oh, okay.
So I'll put them on now. Let's see. So what I did last night, everybody got that message or the document last night. What I did was I changed it to annual water testing instead of pre-water testing, because they do have to pay.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
And that's fine. And then I added the times for pickup. And these are proposed, 9 a.m. to noon is what I figured. Hopefully that would be enough, or if anybody has any other suggestions, because we'll have to take turns, I guess, on these. And then the third thing is I added the costs. Can people see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So those are the times, and then I added the costs of the analysis, which are the $85 plus 20 for standard analysis plus radon. And I made it landscape so that the glass could fit.
All right. Yeah. So as far as I also had on the task list, in addition to making this flyer, of course, the reservation of the space, which I just wanted to confer with the committee about. The basically, we can't use the inside of the community building as it's current as I didn't know this until Darcy Little got back to me about it. It's apparently being used as a food pantry for the duration of the COVID-19 situation. And, there are issues about, stuff going on indoors anyway. However, she did say that we would, that we'd be perfectly allowed to set up a booth at the front of the community building. So basically, we've got outdoor space. There's no way we can get indoor space in the community building or the municipal building. I thought that would be okay, but I wanted to take this to the committee before I emailed her back and said that we'll take it.
No, that's perfect. That's all we want is to be able to set up, because we'll have a little table. And we can put up our signs, our poster that Jordan made some good updates, so we can have that just to show that we're there, and people can just drive through as if they were going to drop off their mail. And-
Okay.
and we'll just hand out the kits with gloves on, and so that people can take those away.
All
And-
right.
So that's good. And then the only other thing, Blake, is the sign, because we'd like to have the sign, at least one side of it, so that we can announce that it's the date.
So just like permission to put something up on the wall of the community building for the duration. I mean, I know you mentioned the front porch advertising. I thought the drafted flyer would be a part of that.
Yeah, it's the community center sign, the one that you put the letters up. So
Mhm.
every year you have to reserve that also for the prior week. And somebody has to go down and actually put the letters in the day, like the Saturday or Friday.
Okay. I'm actually just drafting an email to Darcy Little right now, just, saying that yes, we'd like to have the
drive-through
yep.
outside and the sign.
Yep,
So
I'm-
the drive-through would just be Saturday, Sunday from 9 a.m. to noon, or let's say 8:30 a.m. to noon, so that we can set up. And then if we can reserve the sign, to put up the sign starting on the 29th of May.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Friday. And if you could ask, what's the latest that somebody can go to set up the sign? Because somebody's gonna physically have to go put in the letters.
All right. I will. I'll add the request.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. Thank you so much. And then what about advertising in boat times?
So I wanted to basically get the, approval of the information in the flyer first, because, it didn't really seem right to have, do the advertising push until the information was checked and approved. It was a good thing too. Obviously, if I'd sent my initial flyer to the Boat Times, it would have been very misleading. So that's sort of the next step. I don't know who the contact for the Boat Times is, though.
It's there's boattimes.com or something you can look up
Okay.
how to submit something. But let's leave maybe tomorrow for that. It does, because if you want to send your final version
Mm-hmm.
to Alvina so that she can circulate it to everybody in case there's any other or changes that people want.
All right.
And
Also-
and then you could submit it to Boat Times.
Okay. Also, this is something that I spoke with my mother about, since obviously being a bit more in, in touch with, how people get news in Bow. She suggested that if we could, if emails go out from, both the Bow Rec and the school board, that, people get news on local events via email blasts on those sources. Is there any way that we could, get one or both of those organizations to just, put this flyer in an attachment just as a reminder?
Or the text directly. So I think you're talking to Parks and Rec. You could ask if they could do that announcement. I know Alvina has put it in some of the town email announcements, I think, for us.
I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out the YouTube stuff, so.
Would you be able,
What's going on? Because I just talked
yeah,
to Dick and he says he can't get on. It's just showing the agenda, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
oh, that's too bad. So can he dial in on Zoom or no?
He said he won't.
Oh, all right. Well, he'll have to watch us on YouTube, I guess, afterwards.
I have no idea what's going on because it's on my computer, everything's streaming, and then I go on to check it for the regular user and nothing's going on, so.
Okay. So no, the question was, for the water testing event, you usually have put something into the town of Bow announcements, I think.
We can put it into the Town of Bow newsletter.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep,
Okay.
and on our website, like we always do.
Yep, so those will be the other two. The third one on the school board is a little more difficult. I don't know what people think of that. Should somebody reach out to the school board to see if they could put it in? We used to send it in the kids' backpacks when they did paper things.
Yeah. So Cindy, my daughter being in the middle school, I do get those emails as a parent. So would it be okay to approach the school board? I mean, in response from the email to add,
Yeah, that
be okay.
that would be great, Malu. If you could do that, just to whoever on one of those emails, there must be questions or somebody to
Yeah.
contact.
So Blake, you want me to forward you that email or should I write that email? I'm okay with both.
I mean, it seems like since you actually have a student there, the school board would probably be more inclined to listen to you than me, somebody who at the moment doesn't actually live in Bow.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll wait for the final
Yeah.
version of the letter, right?
I'm sending it to I'm sending it to Alvina now.
Okay.
Again, it's very similar to the edits, the one Cindy just shared. I just all that, I just changed a couple of things. I just changed a couple of things grammatically, and like cleaned it up a little bit, but the text is the same and all the pertinent information is the same.
Okay.
And Alvina might want to convert it to a PDF.
Oh yes, that's also true. In fact, I can convert it to a PDF myself if you'd rather I just send that version.
Yeah, I would send both a PDF and Word to Alvina so that she can keep copy in the files.
Certainly.
And then that way, and then the PDF can be the one to share so that Marla put forward. That would be great.
Okay. Assuming that there's no additional changes
Right.
that need to be
Right.
made, I can contact the Bow Times and ask them to run this, run the flyer in the next edition. And I will
Yeah.
I'll keep you all informed on, I just emailed back Darcy Little with the official community building outside and sign request, and I'll let you know what I hear back, regarding the sign as well.
Yeah, And Blake, if you just give us 24 hours before you send it to the Bow Times, just in case anybody has anything else. for the-
24
for the-
hours, you've got it.
Okay, all right. So by,
And then,
take a look tonight or tomorrow and let Blake know if there's any changes. Wendy,
this
you were
is
gonna
Wendy.
say
Did
something?
did we also talk about putting it on the Bo Facebook page?
Yes, yes. Who wants to do that?
Well, I think, did Albina, did you say you were gonna do that?
Well, I can send it to Tanya. She'll post it.
Okay, and I don't think it should go up till maybe like the notice on the sign goes up. So like that week before,
Okay.
because otherwise
that's a
it's
good
just
point.
gonna get lost and people, people aren't gonna remember it. So I think the closer to the date, the better.
I think that's prudent.
And that's a good comment for all of them. So maybe when you ask both times, well, although that's a monthly thing, so
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
think both times should go out soon.
Bow Times is going to, it gets published when it gets published. So, plus
Yeah,
there's a
okay.
good little, plus I think that's a good sort of tiered advertising where it's like we've got first notice in the Bow Times and then like maybe like middle notice depending on what gets sent out on school board and Bow Rec emails, and then finally we've got the week before notice with the sign and the Bow Facebook page. So I feel like we're getting
Great.
maximum exposure there.
So you just reminded me of ultra maximum exposure we're going to get, because I was talking to Dartmouth Toxic Metals, who does a lot of work on arsenic and mostly on arsenic, mercury, other stuff. And they have made they have a website called Arsenic and You that they made a while ago, and they're updating that. So I was talking to the editor, or one of the people that does the website, and I mentioned that we were going to have our well event or annual event, and so she offered to provide magnets from Arsenic and You that we could hand out with the test kits, which are really nice. And also they have like a flyer about the new 5 ppb MCL. So she's going to try to get us copies of that we could hand out. Maybe put in the Ziplocs or something. So that'll be nice. And she offered to tweet out, I guess, and do a little bit of, announcements on their feed that we were having this event. I don't know how many Bow people read the Dartmouth feed, but it'll be a good thing to have. So that'll be nice.
Cindy,
Yeah.
I had another thing to ask. You might want to touch base with Lou one more time, the lab,
Okay.
and also ask about the drop off on Sunday.
Yeah, so do we want to do the drop off on Sunday again, or should we just keep them and take them Monday?
Yeah, it'll all depend on how Lou wants to.
Okay, all right, I'll ask.
Yeah, because there will be some people who will be collecting. Trying to think.
Sunday morning they should. collect.
Sunday morning is, yeah.
Yeah.
No
They
one.
should all collect Sunday morning unless we tell them, oh, we're gonna come out again on Monday, which we don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Two rounds.
So,
Martha, do you want to talk to Lou?
yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
So
maybe just.
that way, yeah, he knows that he will get a couple of samples.
Yeah, he does know that we're still on, but this
Yeah.
was like a month ago.
Okay.
So it's good to check because I know they're pretty busy.
For us, dropping it off Sunday and Monday doesn't make any difference because we are going to make that trip just for these samples since we are not going in to work. I don't know how things will be in June.
True.
Probably much the same.
Yeah, so if it doesn't really matter for me if I can go Sunday afternoon or Monday early morning. And
Yeah.
drop those.
I just
Just
know
do
that
the-
that because everybody is screened to get into the building.
Yes.
So there might not be screeners on Sunday and it might just be locked.
We are still able to get in on Sundays.
Okay.
So,
And you have your ID, so, you
yes.
know, whatever you work out is great. And,
Okay.
And then
Do the-
whoever
do the-
wants to make turns on June 5th or 6th, let me know.
Don't you mean 6th or 7th?
6 or 7, correct, thank you. 9 to 12. We can take 1 hour shifts, 2 hour shifts, whatever you like. Or none, you know, it's fine. I will plan to go out both times, but if all you need to do is bring a folding chair and sometimes a hat, because if it's sunny, then you could get burnt.
Do we prefer to have 2 people there at a time?
2 people, you said?
Is that, yeah. Okay.
Not
So I
really.
can do, well, I didn't know. I knew sometimes in the past it's gotten, maybe this time won't be busy. But like there were several people that would come at once. It was helpful to have more
Well-
than one person. But I guess we're going to be doing a line of cars, so I guess we can only do one at a time anyways.
Yeah, I think the drive-through situation does necessitate things. Also, if we have 2 people there, they'd have to stay 6 feet apart from each other at all times, and that could get weird logistically. So,
Yeah,
Well, I know when they do the food drop off, there's multiple people there, you know.
Yeah.
So people are dropping it off and then you're taking it because then you got to put it in the cooler and then.
and we're
Not
not
that you
gonna
have to
be
have 2,
close
but I think,
close to each other, so, you know, we can be on either side of the table. I think we should be,
Right.
we have to be wearing our masks and gloves. So, yeah, I think it's fine to have 2 people at a
2, yeah.
time,
2 should be okay, not 3.
not 3.
mhm.
Okay, so yeah, so we can stagger it that way.
So is it,
think
it's 9 to
everybody's
12
hands
is,
will Go up immediately to volunteers.
no, I was gonna say I could do, 9 to 10 each day.
Okay, sold. Thank you, Wendy. And we'll have time closer to the date, but what I think is we'll need the boards from Alvina because those are back at the town, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, after the voting, so we'll pick up the board and just set up a little table outside.
And is the table something we bring as well?
Would you ask Blake
Hmm?
if we can get a table if they would lend us a table on Saturday morning? And that might be complicated because it's locked.
I will ask, I basically just asked Darcy, hey, this is our official asking for permission for the date and the sign. And assuming she says, once she gets back to me, I will ask if they, if they have a table that we would be able to use for the occasion. If not, we can figure something out. I mean, I've got
Yeah.
a portable table I'm actually using right now, just a fold-up card table. I mean, I feel like anything like that would work.
Yeah, it's just a folding table. I don't have one, that's why if anybody has one that they're willing to offer up, then I'll take it the day before, so I have it. Unless you want to come out at 9 a.m., at 8:30 a.m. on the first day and then pick it up on the second, so.
Well,
Can you just take care of a table one way or the other, Blake, so that?
Yeah, I'm willing to offer mine, although I do use it for work. So, I'll probably bring it out. If I need to use mine, if I can't secure one from the town, I'll just have to bring it out, at 8:30 on Saturday, and then pick it up, Sunday afternoon.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do that.
And one other question, if it's raining, is there, I can't remember, is there a little canopy in the front that we could,
There, I think there's, yeah, a little bit. It's
Yeah,
small, but
very
probably
nice.
we could scrunch under there.
okay.
All right, so hopefully that's it for the well testing. Alvina, just to confirm, was July 15th our date for the water info session?
Well, yes, it
Okay.
was. I'm not sure of what's gonna happen by then, but
And
did
we
you,
won't even need the library, right, anymore because we're gonna do it by Zoom. Or
right. I mean, I can contact the library and ask them to cancel. I know you fill it out. Remember the paperwork you had to fill out?
Yeah, yeah.
Send them, so I'll just ask them to disregard it and free up the date, just in case they're open in July. I don't even know if they're gonna be open or not.
Well, I wouldn't want to give up the date because maybe, by then,
Then we just keep it. I mean,
yeah. All right, let's keep it and we'll just see how that goes. All right. Next was Chris Culberson was going to tell us about the sodium and the chloride testing, but he was unable to come today and did not have an update for us. What I do have is the latest results for sodium and chloride. And I show you that. Where is it? And it showed that there was a huge drop. From April to, or from March to April, I guess, in one of the monitoring wells. So that's pretty interesting. So it's on the screen. This is the sodium concentration, which did not drop. That's pretty much the same. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
The red one is OW6, which
Mm.
is the high one. The other two are pretty low. So this is the one, OW6 is the one that we want to watch. Where are we getting all this loading? Because as soon as the well started pumping in 2012, that's when it shot all the way up. Because it started before the pumping, it was like the other wells, and then as soon as we do any pumping, it went all the way up and has stayed high. That's for sodium. But for chloride, and now we only have annual samples, so between 2019 and this year, it went down almost like over 100, almost 200 milligrams, which is huge. So that was great news, mostly because I think that it shows that if there is control of runoff and the salt, that something can be done, and it reacts pretty quickly. So
Do we know of anything that happened the past year?
we don't. So, but we asked, we can ask Chris Whitewater to see if any more information that he can provide. But yeah, that's just new information today.
I mean, I don't know if there's any correlation to what the winter weather was
Yeah,
each year.
we probably got a lot less snow, I think, this year. I don't know how much less, but yeah, that's one thing, that it's probably less snow. so less salt being applied.
Yeah, I guess if Noel was here, he could comment on that, just if they did use less salt or whatever.
Yeah. Does anybody know why we would see such a difference between chloride and sodium?
Do you know, Cindy?
I don't, but I'm just thinking maybe the mobility of one versus the other. You know, sodium is lighter than chloride on a mass basis. But yeah, it's interesting. So I'll put that out for research by everybody. If you're looking for something to Google and read, feel free. Educate us. All right, next is Wendy. Wendy's tasks were to,
So Cindy, before you move to the next one, quick question. Didn't
Sure.
we ask them to do monthly, more like to see for seasonal changes?
we did, and we're still waiting on an answer.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, haven't been able to make any progress on that. It's been about a year, I think, that we've been asking for that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, you know, the whitewater operator changed, and so there's just been a lot of town government.
And I will check with the Green Snow Pro person at DES about the sodium chloride thing. Maybe they know.
Yeah. Okay, good idea. All right, do you want to talk about the water conservation stuff, Wendy?
Or, oh, I didn't notice, Alvina, were you able to send the link,
Yeah,
the attachments that,
yeah, I did send it out.
okay.
Let me see if I can open it.
Because I got the one that had the additional stuff this morning, and then, so did other people get the link to the DES website on drought?
I have a
No.
document, so hang on, let me share what I have. Is that it?
So basically, yeah, so, well, that was one of the attachments. So New Hampshire DS has a whole drought management kind of website, which has guidance materials that has this drought guidance for community water system. And then they also have separate guidance just for municipalities. And with that guidance, it also provides, there's like a model. So if you need to issue these restrictions, whether, I guess, the legislature passed a law that says municipalities can impose restrictions in the case of a drought on lawn watering. So that's one of the things we could do. And so because the state's not in a drought right now, like nobody has anything in place right now for me to check. I couldn't find anything online. So we don't need to like do a separate ordinance or whatever. So if we are in a state of drought, the town could just follow the model that's provided by DES and plug in the specific BOE information. And then you just need to give 3 days notice. You need to post it. And then it goes into effect for a certain time period. And then it also gives you the authority if people aren't abiding by whatever those restrictions were, then you could also issue penalties. And then, so that's specifically related to lawn watering, but then they do have these drought guidance specifically for community water systems, which allows you to go a bit beyond that if you wanted to have additional restrictions more than just relating to lawn watering. I think what I've heard from about our community water system is that we have more than enough water.
Hmm.
So I don't know if we were in a situation of a drought, I don't know that we would that we would need to issue something more for the community water system. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that. If that's
Yeah, we
a
don't
correct
have,
assumption.
we don't have more than enough water. In fact, some of our both systems have had shortage of water.
So I was thinking more on the big water system that we're talking about. So what are you thinking? What are you talking about? Like the ones that are on wells?
Yeah. The small community systems. So yeah, the municipal, yeah, the municipal system is way below their production rate, so they don't have any issues of running out.
So yeah, so that I was referring to the municipal system. So
Okay.
the other community water, you're like thinking of the schools and whatnot?
Yeah, and the residential ones like Stone Sled or,
So we don't own those, so
We
they would
don't.
do their own. I mean,
But-
the operators would be the ones that would, if they wanted to issue separate guidance, they would do that, not the town.
but wouldn't the town have any say in that because it's the town's aquifer? No?
No, not my understanding of the regulations.
Okay.
And I don't know, Blake, if you have time at some point, I mean, there's no rush on this, if you wanted to look over the RSA, it's the RSA 4111-D. That's the one that allows you for the lawn watering restrictions.
Okay.
And then for the public water systems, it's under RSA 485. And then EMV DW 503. But yeah, so it's who's ever running the community system can issue those additional restrictions for whatever.
If there's a
But
drought.
So those restrictions aren't
I think-
currently in place.
Right, it says for the community, for the public water systems, it says in the case of drought or other emergency.
Okay.
But it's broader than this RSA 4111D, which was adopted in 2007, which gave any municipality the authority to issue lawn watering restrictions if there's a declared drought.
All right. Well, that's
Because I
great
guess-
news. How do we
Yeah,
inform the select board and the town manager that they have that power and that individual community systems have that power, have that ability? Should we write like a letter or something to the,
if you think so, I don't know if things have changed, but it didn't look like, I didn't see any concerns for being in a drought anymore. I mean, that can change, I know, but like when I looked at what the current conditions and projections were, it didn't look like, I didn't see anything in the Northeast at this time.
I'm just thinking that it would be nice to have something in writing to the planning board, say, or
Okay,
to the select board, I don't know, to somebody, so that it's sitting in somebody's file that in the future, Drinking Water Committee says this statute is on the books. The town has the power to restrict water with 3 days notice, et cetera, in any town-owned systems and individual privately owned community water systems would also have that authority within their service area. Because I'm thinking, for example, our emergency director, Lee Kimball, would want to know that because when one of our community systems is bulking water, like we've had the system by the high school,
mhm.
they had to bulk water in the winter one time a year ago. And that's, you know, worrisome because you can't deliver water under certain temperatures. And so, it was worthy of the emergency director to be aware that,
So who would that go to? Do you know?
what's that?
Who would this letter go to that we're talking about drafting?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. Should it go, I think maybe to the town manager and we copy our emergency director so that they have it in their book?
Okay, so I can draft something that we can go over for the next meeting.
That'd be awesome, Wendy. Thank you. That'd be terrific.
And then I might have, I'll probably, as I'm drafting it, we'll probably have some questions regarding what our recommendations would be.
Sure. Yeah, no, that would be great. And we can talk it over in our June meeting too. So good. New project. Awesome. Thank you. And your second item was the emergency plan. Were you able to look that up on the website?
What was that?
It was to look up. That's all right. You can be continued. My
No,
task,
I don't know what it is.
It's-
What's the emergency plan?
it's to look in the Bow emergency plan online and see if it says
Oh,
anything about.
Oh, I had your name next to that. So I
Oh,
didn't do it.
that's all right. I think I conveniently
I-
moved it to your name. When,
Okay, I can look at that for the next time.
and anybody else can look that up if you want. Just raise your hand. I'll look it up. Feel free to.
Online.
It's online. Yeah, we do know that it's online.
We found it at the last meeting.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to
Yeah,
look up to see what?
So we were just gonna read it, is that what you're saying? Just
Yeah,
to see
it's just
what's already in there.
What's already
or
there,
Whether
yeah.
they have any reference to drought or whatever.
Exactly.
Sure,
Yeah, so you
Okay.
pull it up, search for drought, and then when
Yeah.
we send them the letter, we can say, oh, you could put it in Appendix I, or wherever it is that they talk about anything related to water.
Oh, yeah, it would probably be good to add to it, yeah.
We'll say, please add this item. Okay, that's great. Alvina was gonna post so that's it for Wendy. And then Alvina's task was to post the source water activities table.
Yep, they're on the website.
She's always so good. All right. Thank you. All right, next item was the large groundwater withdrawal permit. And I don't know if you were able to send out a copy of that, Alvina, but we submitted the package with the information requested, and we received the renewal, I think, Friday or something, or Thursday. So if that hasn't been sent out, Alvina, would you mind sending out a?
I think I forwarded you the email, but I can open it up here too. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, I have the email. It was to the rest of the committee, so it's 2 letters. Or
Yes, which
one
one first?
that did go to everybody already?
I think, yeah, I forwarded it up to everybody.
Oh, okay, so you should have in your email, copy of the letter that says you're renewed for another 10 years. And then copy of the new permit, which is also online, that references the two wells. There we go. Nothing has changed for withdrawal rates or anything. We're still permitted for the same. It incorporated the backup well because that wasn't in the original permit, so that was modified. And there's a comment there that the state recommends to watch the sodium and the chloride, so that was good.
And that's the second document.
Yeah. And the next renewal will be in 2030. So whoever's still on the committee at that time, you can do the next renewal package. Maybe Jordan. 10 years down the line. The sampling continues on annual sampling, but the comment whether we wanted to do more sampling frequency, that's on for the town's discretion. And we did send copy to Pembroke Waterworks, who's the only other community water system in the affected area, I guess. And they acknowledged receipt. And so that was fine. And Chris helped to make sure that that was received. All right, that's on the large groundwater. Next was member term renewals. And very grateful and happy that Madhu and Wendy are renewing did renew their terms. Thank you so much. And of course, we lost Dick, so please help us recruit anybody that you know that is interested in arsenic or uranium or lead or droughts or salt, water protection in any way.
And Jordan's official now.
And Jordan's official, yes. That's wonderful. So thank you, everybody. So yeah, to put out a call for recruiting more people, because that would be nice. We also learned that Noah will not be, he's actually left the town of Bow. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Tim Sweeney emailed to let me know, but he hasn't assigned anybody else from DPW. All he said was that anything we needed could be through Whitewater. And of course, we can always reach out to Tim for anything. But
Well, I found it very helpful to have somebody at the meetings,
yeah, it was great to
from
have him on.
DPW.
I know. It is sad that we lost him, so. I can reach out to Tim and really say that, we'd really like somebody to attend. I don't know if they're short.
Probably now's not the best time, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's on membership. And that was it, because I had the water info session for July, but we talked about that a little bit already with the water testing. And I think if we can advertise it as part of the annual event, we'll have a better chance of people actually knowing about it. Because that's been the issue before, is we've only gotten maybe 2 or 3 people, and we just didn't do enough advertising. So by including it in the and when you guys look at the ad, make sure that that is clear, that there's a follow-up, so that people don't miss that and kind of expect it to say, okay, I do my sample, I wait for 3 weeks, and then I'm going to tune in and ask, discuss my results. You would think that people would be interested, but we just haven't been able to get that through. So. That's all we have. Anybody else? When's our next?
Well,
meeting?
I just on the about the July thing. I mean, it's maybe when we advertise it, it's advertised not just for people that have questions that happen to sample their water. Maybe we should just open up as a general information session on private wells and problems, because a lot of people, they get their results and they can go to the Be Well Informed, or they can figure it out themselves. But there's probably a lot of other people that might be interested. So we probably should not make it so exclusive.
Absolutely. So maybe Blake, before you send it out, the final, unless you already did that.
I haven't yet. Well, I mean, like I sent it to Alvina, but
to see maybe, can you change that line to say, open to everybody, I don't know, so that it's clear that it's not just to people that tested.
How about I,
uh,
I change it and then send it out, and if anybody has comments, they can give back to me, and then I'll finalize it.
all right.
Okay, yeah, take a look at how we can better advertise the July session. Because it does seem, it would be helpful, but. Okay, what else? Our next meeting is June what?
Hang on.
June 1st.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so we can touch base then on turns for the well testing event, and we'll know then about the drop off, all of that. I have one large cooler that we can use. And then, maybe if anybody else has another cooler, or from the lab, you'll get,
I have one.
yeah. Okay, so, all right, so we'll have something for June 1st. What else will we talk about on June 1st? We only have Wendy's new letter on drought right now for the agenda. I guess the well testing. Is there anything?
Yeah, maybe it'll be a short meeting.
All right,
Because we'll need to finalize, I mean, the well testing day, other people and whatnot, and like I say, we'll know more, maybe we'll know more specifics about what's going on at the library and
true.
all
Maybe
that.
Chris will be there to address some of the testing for the wells too.
Yeah, that's still,
Yeah,
Provide an email with the results. If he can't show, we can at least get some information from him.
okay. Yeah, that would be, hopefully. And we should have information from Dartmouth as to what they can put, how they're gonna help us, so. If you have time, check out Arsenic and You
Hmm.
on the web. It's a good website. And they're updating it now for the change in MCL. But they talk about rice and baby formula, and it's very comprehensive. So. All right,
it's
folks.
probably depressing.
What's that?
Is it depressing? It's probably depressing. Like,
It will empower you
don't,
with the knowledge.
It empowers you what to eat and what not to eat.
Yeah, so it should be encouraging, not depressing.
What it encourages you is to test your water, treat your water, and on the rice part, I can't help you. I don't know.
yeah, I was gonna say.
I
Yeah,
Totally
just-
right.
When you boil your rice, use the right water,
True. But it is a little depressing about the rice, but I don't know how we can test rice, so I don't think about the rice. Water is the primary exposure, so. All right, guys. Take care and have a great week. Thank you so much.
Okay, see everybody in
You
June.
too.
Thanks, Alvina.
See y'all
Bye.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.